What if I told you Austria's first post-war car was a lime green three-wheeled convertible powered by a two-stroke lawnmower engine? Ladies and gentlemen, my friend Timmy, gather round because today's story is about a car so compact, so light, and so unexpectedly Austrian, it makes you wonder if it was built to slip between the cracks of history itself, or just between the potholes in post-war Vienna. I'm talking about the one, the only, the Felber Autoroller TL400, the microcar that looked like a frog and sounded like a chainsaw. But before we drive down this micro lane of history, let's take a moment to thank our channel sponsors, especially those who have supported us through every crazy story, every technical tangent, and every time Timmy accidentally clicked on a crypto ad thinking it was a fishing license renewal. You guys are the real MVPs. Thanks to your support, I get to keep roasting cars and not end up as a TikTok influencer dancing for loose change at the mall. Now let's roll back to 1952 Austria, when people wanted affordable transport and the only electric vehicle in town was the tram. Let's set the scene. Vienna, early 1950s. The war's over, everyone's broke, and there's more rubble than sense. Enter Felber Co, a Vienna-based firm best known for motorcycle sidecars. They looked at the market and thought, why not build a car you can afford if you sell your neighbor's radio and your mother-in-law's hat collection? Designer Ernst Marold took the challenge, sketching the Felber Autoroller, a people's car for those who couldn't afford or didn't trust a full-size automobile. The target? Motorcycle owners, city slickers, and rural folks whose family car was usually a donkey with two left feet. The Autoroller burst onto the scene in 1952 as Austria's first true post-war automobile project, and you could sense the national pride in every slightly uneven weld. The prototypes popped up first, with production kicking off in 1953 at Felber's plant in Vienna's 17th district. The competition? Microcars like the Messerschmitt Kabinenroller and BMW Isetta. So basically, the Autoroller was up against vehicles that looked like rejected cartoon characters. Still, only about 400 Felber Autorollers ever rolled out. Let's talk design. Picture this, a tiny three-wheeled convertible painted a cheerful, we couldn't afford anything else machinery green and sporting just one door on the right side. Top up, it's a cabrio coach. Top down, it's a cabrio let's get soaked. The layout, two front wheels, one rear wheel, rear engine. That's right, all the power goes to a single rear tire. And if you think that's odd, wait till you hear about the seats. The driver sits alone up front, probably to hide from his in-laws, while the back offers a diagonally staggered seat for one adult and one child. Because nothing says family trip like dad driving, mom hanging on for dear life, and Timmy in the back seat, trying to convince everyone that he really is on his way to school this time, while secretly plotting how to skip math and go fishing instead. The 1950s press dubbed it the Viennese light baby. But let's be honest, this layout was more about keeping it simple and cheap than any wild engineering theory. Body panels were banged out from steel and painted with the cheapest industrial enamel Felber could buy in bulk. Why spend money on fancy paint when your main competition is a bicycle? Under the hood, well, under the rear flap, the Autoroller packed a 398 cubic centimeters, that's 0.4 liters, folks, Rotax two-cylinder, two-stroke engine mounted at the back. This little smoker churned out a fiery about 15 horsepower, enough to scare local chickens and maybe, just maybe, climb a hill if you offered it a pep talk and a tailwind. Max revs hit 5,000 revolutions per minute, and with 40 Förderstärke per litre, you could say it had the spirit, if not the muscle, of a real race car. Starting was courtesy of a Dynastart system, a combined dynamo and electric starter, a high-tech touch in a car otherwise built like a soapbox derby entry. Carburation came with air cut-off, a cold start choke, and all the drama of getting the little engine going on a cold morning. Transmission? 3 forward gears plus a fast fourth for rapid escapes and 1 reverse gear, in case you realized too late you'd parked in front of the mayor's bicycle. Power was sent to the rear wheel by a chain in an oil bath. Clutch was a 4-plate affair, and the brakes, well, let's just say if you planned ahead, you'd probably stop somewhere in the next county. Suspension was a hybrid of motorcycle and microcar tech, leading links up front, a swing arm at the back. The curb weight came in at a dainty 340 kilograms, 750 pounds, and with a maximum loaded weight of 540 kilograms, 190 pounds, you could, in theory, bring along the whole family, provided nobody ate too much schnitzel. Overall length, about 9 feet 2 inches, 280 centimeters. Performance was modest but honest. The top speed clocked in at 82 kilometers per hour, about 51 miles per hour. If you found a long enough hill or a good tailwind, and fuel consumption was a thrifty 4.5 liters per 100 kilometers, roughly 38 miles per gallon. Not bad. You'd probably spend more money on shoe leather walking from the gas station. Production, however, was a struggle. With a tiny domestic market, scarce resources, and the government opening the doors to cheaper and better foreign cars by 1954, Felber soon found themselves outpaced by imports. By the time Volkswagen Beetles and Fiat 500s started rolling into Austria, the Felber Autoroller was already a relic. Still, around 400 units were made before Felber pivoted importing microcars and eventually selling industrial washing machines, which, honestly, were probably less stressful to drive. And yet, the legacy lives on. An Austrian Autoroller club sprang up in the mid-1950s, with owners buzzing around like a tiny green hornet's nest. In 1954, a famous wedding saw a parade of Autorollers weaving through Vienna, probably the only time a bride has risked being outshone by a line of three-wheeled frogmobiles. Today, only a handful survive. 2 were displayed for years at the Eggenberg Museum, and just 4 are known to exist worldwide, making them rarer than an honest used car ad. Now let's talk numbers. Prices, not Timmy's fishing statistics. The selling price in 1953 was 22,850 Austrian shillings. If you paid cash, you got a discount. That's about $900 at the time. And before you say, that's nothing, remember that in the 1950s that was enough to buy your neighbor's house, 2 goats, and a lifetime supply of unsolicited advice. Today, the few surviving Felber Autorollers are collector's gems. But let's be fair, there's something genuinely charming about the Felber Autoroller. It was simple, unpretentious, and designed to get everyday people moving, even if it looked like a frog that swallowed a Vespa. It didn't change the world, but it brought a bit of hope to post-war Austria. And for that, I think it deserves a round of applause. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this deep dive into one of Austria's weirdest little cars, hit that subscribe button like you're starting a Dynastart engine, because on this channel we hunt for the rare, the ridiculous, and the surprisingly valuable. Stay tuned, keep your wheels spinning, and remember, always check your backseat for fishing rods, moonshine, or conspiracy theories before you set off. And if you see Timmy at an auction, hide your bidding paddle.